your wedding day. Such memories. Your smiling face, the love in her eyes, promising of a lifelong journey of understanding and support. So what the fuck happened? You out the house, she got the car, and you're recovering on your homeboy's couch, or even worse, in your parents' basement. Life after marriage is not something most men are prepared for. Many don't even talk about the issues that affected what was supposed to be one of the best things that ever happened. What now? How does your life start over? It's time to talk about it. The Lame Show starts now.
Welcome to The Lame Show. Life after marriage ends. We
Lame
are
show,
your
lame
hosts, Daniil, Drew, Jamal, Kier, and Goran.
Yo.
Hello.
Today we're here to talk about life after divorce and marriage and ending. And our topic today is, are you a single parent if you are co-parenting? Right?
Right. Yes or no?
Yes or no?
I can't really speak to this because I'm married now.
Okay.
And I have a couple of situations going on.
All right. Why we bring you on here then?
Because I cry.
That's
That's
true.
right, because I
That's true.
cry.
So we need some emotional support.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about, so I would think if you have a healthy co-parenting relationship, you cannot say I'm a single mom. You just say I'm single. Because a single mom, saying you're a single mom invokes certain type of emotions from people. They think you automatically don't have any help. They think you're doing it by yourself. They think you're struggling.
Okay.
So I know there are a lot of fathers that might see their ex write up something. It's so hard being a single mom. They'd be like, bitch, what?
Right. All right, it's a phone call.
I just went to Toys R Us, school shopping.
Right, all of that, right?
What's really bad is your money managing. That's what's really bad.
Right.
I think that's what people get caught up with when they be like, I'm a single mom, but the dad is involved, or I'm a single dad, and the mom is involved. It's like, yo, our shit is together. You alone, that's what's making you feel like a single parent, because you ain't got your shit together.
Okay, all right. What do you think, Drew?
Nah, you're not a single parent because you have help financially and emotionally for that child.
Okay.
You cannot be a single parent if that's the case. Because a real single parent who has no help at all,
that's
they're looking
different.
at you crazy. Like, what are you complaining about?
Yeah.
Like, your dude helps you.
Right.
A true single parent can say, wait till I call your father.
Right.
Because the father ain't around. And kids, that's a real single mom. It's a real, or wait till I call your mother, and you can't say that.
Yeah, but none of us have that dynamic, right? I mean, like, we all are very much involved in our children's lives.
Yes. But what would our exes say to that?
That's a good point.
They better say we.
Because there's three sides to every story. Her side, your side,
And the truth. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they could be like, you never here. You're like, motherfucker, I got it last weekend.
You divorced my black ass. Of course I ain't
But
there.
you took her to your parents' house, so you had help. That ain't my fault. It's like, I deal with the same thing you do. You just have a harder time struggling.
Goran, what are your thoughts, man?
So I can kind of see both sides of the coin, right?
Right.
So I think they talk about the single parenting when it's, well, like Jamal just said, when they need help and someone's not there immediately, right? Like in a traditional household marriage, right? You got mom and dad, mom may be upstairs, dad may be downstairs. And then it's like, I'm going to go tell your father.
Yeah.
Right. But now it's like, I got to call him or I got to try to reach him. And you could be out on a date, you could be on vacation, you could be somewhere else.
Right.
And you might not be able to reach and parent at that moment that he or she needs to be, parented. Right.
Right.
So I can see how in certain situations they are parenting singly, right? On both sides. Right. So if the kid's with you this weekend and you're making all the parenting decisions, are you calling your ex to say, hey, she did this, how should we handle it, right? Or you just go ahead and handling that parenting situation?
But how about when the kid plays it against you? Like, dad lets me stay. Dad lets me do this, or dad lets me stay up to this, and to the
These
mom,
kids are
and then
smart.
the mom's like, well, you're not with your dad, and this is blah blah blah, and vice versa. Mom lets me do this.
That's when you flip it on them. You play chess. Like, oh, you don't want to do this. Okay. You want to call your mother? That means you need me. You need my phone. No.
She got her own phone. Bro.
Exactly.
Everyone got a phone now.
And then it's like, yo, you want to charge your phone? You can't lose my electricity. You want to play that? Mommy said I don't have to do it? Okay, I don't have to give you the outlets to charge your phone. You know what I'm saying? You got to play chess with them because they're going to come and play both of you against each other.
That's true.
It's just what you do. So you just got to be smarter than them.
I think that's the interesting point though. Like if you're, I've been in a situation where I had just started dating, like finally taking a step out there, and I got a phone call as I'm about to order, and I'm like, do I take this call or do I continue on the date? And I was conflicted. So I think does it affect her power if she calls you and you're not there to pick up when something's happening? What do you guys think?
Possibly.
Possibly.
If you're not available, if you make yourself unavailable, if you're just unavailable, then the decision has to be made without you.
Right, because if you're in the same house, is one thing, but now I gotta wait for you to pick up and call back. Like the energy's different.
Right.
You know what I mean? What you gonna say?
And it depends on your day as well. You could be having a single mom, single dad kind of day. Where it's just like, no one is there to help me. I just
Right.
got off work. I got to feed them. They didn't do their homework. I got to handle all this shit. And I'm ready to kill them. But you can't because they're your kids.
Right.
But you could
Yeah,
have
a single parent
Kind of
moment,
day. Yes.
a moment, right?
A
Like a
moment.
day when
Yes.
when the
that
father's
doesn't
not
give you the
available
right to be
or the
like, I'm
mother's
a
not
single
available.
mom. And
No, it doesn't.
No. Now,
But if there's multiple of those days, like if 4 or 5 times out of the week you're feeling left alone,
Well-
or she's feeling left alone.
well, so is that other parent that gets the kids. They're feeling alone.
Mm-hmm.
They got to feed the kid. They got to make sure the homework is done. They got to make sure they wash the evening before or the morning before school. They have to handle all that stuff by themselves. What's the other parent doing while you got the kid?
So
Chilling.
I feel like my ex is feeling a little bit of that because
Speak on it.
because, and I'm gonna tell why, because of this pandemic and the virtual schooling.
Go on.
And the fact that I'm going to work every day and she's working from home. So she's dealing with the, having to actually work her full-time job virtually, as well as, make sure that my daughter's on the Zoom calls and make sure that she's, sitting at the table and doing her homework and stuff like that. So she's actually cried out to me like, I need help with this stuff. But
That's
it's
a
like,
good
it's
one.
hard, and
Right.
and then even though I want to give that time, I mean, I'm at work all day. So then when I come home, I'm like, all right, I'm here. Like, what needs to be done? And like, well, it's done now. Don't worry about it. So,
Right.
So now I'm like, you
That
know what I mean?
side eye.
And then when it comes to the schoolwork piece, I'm like completely, I don't even know what's going on. I'm like, all right, well, can I see what she's doing right now? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm being serious about it.
Well, Key, that's why she feel like a single parent.
well, I'm being honest. That's a real.
You don't
Wait,
know
wait,
what
just
damn
real-
homework assignment is.
I don't even know.
Does
I don't even know.
does anyone here know what homework assignments do on a weekly basis? From in the room?
I do because I ask, I guess. Yeah, I asked if my son and my daughter they were off from spring break. Did they have any projects that they had to do
Right.
during the week? They
Nice.
didn't. So, but the week like the week before.
Like normal weeks, not a spring break situation.
normal
but-
weeks. Yeah, my son had to do a project. I helped him do it,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
How about you, Drew?
See,
Well,
So
ahead.
we were talking single parent, right? Either the mom or the dad is alone and they have to parent the kid.
right.
What if you're in a relationship where you have, a significant other, and this significant other does help out from time to time with the kid? Not that they're their parent, but parenting, right? So you're in a relationship. This person has, some authority to parent your kid. Are you still a single parent?
Ooh.
in some respects, yes. because there are certain things that that partner is not going to deal with. There's going to come a time where that kid might talk back. There might come a time where that kid is just being unruly. And that partner is going to be like, that ain't my kid. And I'm going to go.
I ain't signing up for this shit.
I'm about to get locked up, teach him some home training and come back. Or teach her some home training and come back. But there's certain things that that parent has to deal with by themselves unless they're allowing their partner to discipline their child. Some people do, some people don't.
I think we talked about that in a previous episode, right?
So now, to expand upon Goran's point, what if one of the parents travels 70% of the time for work? Is the parent that's home a single parent?
Yes.
No.
Really?
Really. Because of the fact that if that person who travels is out of town, you're not sending the child to the other parent's home. They're in the house majority of the time with that kid. So there's no.
I'm talking about if they're still married.
Yeah. They're not a single parent.
Wow.
But
That's
they
interesting.
That's why I said, wow.
They live the life of a single mom or a single dad because of the fact they're handling everything. They got to pick up the kid from school. They got to make sure homework is done. They got to feed them while that other parent's off on the road.
Dynamic.
Now, what is that parent doing to rear that child while they're gone?
Making some money.
To rear the child.
The same thing he would do if he were co-parenting locally.
What would he be doing?
They'd still be getting a phone call.
Ooh, phone call.
Doesn't matter.
Wait.
He's there to answer the phone call.
Daniil,
though.
I want to hear your
There's
point
some
on this
dudes that don't
because
even answer.
Right, there's some dudes
your
that...
dynamic is a little bit different, so
But-
I want to
but
hear
the-
you weigh in.
But
on
unless you that phone call includes homework on FaceTime, it's not really doing anything. You're just answering questions. You're having a 10 to 20 minute conversation out of a 24-hour day.
No, that hits home hard because
yeah, this is
damn, that's a good question. Because for the most part, I'm actively working on changing my location so I can be closer to my son.
right.
But in the meantime, I'm big on school. I'm there. I'm like,
But you're doing Zooms with him. You're
Yeah,
helping
yeah,
him with his
yeah.
homework over.
but
virtually
sometimes
and
I'm
stuff.
not because now it transitions because he has his own cell phone, so I try to reach him directly.
Right.
If I can't reach him, well, let me rephrase that. He doesn't want me to reach him to do the homework.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now I go online and it's not syncing up to what's on paper. And he's a smart kid, so when you're there physically, to Jamal's point, it's a stronger connection. But when you're doing it from far away, you got to do everything you can, and that still might not be enough.
Yo, G, let me ask you this: in your marriage, you on the road a lot. Do you feel that your ex was a single mom, living mostly as a single mom?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I would definitely say there were times where parenting decisions needed to be made, and I was just unavailable. Whether I was on a plane, in a meeting or a conference, where she had to make a decision at that point. Whether it's disciplining the kid or she needed me to talk to someone, and I'm just unavailable. Not that I didn't want to.
Right.
It's just when you're in a plane, traveling cross country, there's going to be 6 hours where you're unavailable. And parenting time doesn't wait, right?
No, it doesn't.
The kid needs to be
not at all.
parenting. Like when we were kids, remember, it was like, wait till your father gets
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait till your
you
father
knew-
gets home.
You sat in your room
You
and
be sitting in your room like,
and
oh.
sweated till he came in.
Nah, my mother was the one that had me sweating.
Yeah.
But kids nowadays, they need that immediate, that sit down, like, listen, what you just did was unacceptable, and you're going to get a timeout and go stand in the corner and put all your toys away, right?
I remember I had an ass whooping coming when my pops got home, and I pretended like I was asleep. I did my best acting job pretending like I was asleep. Pops came in, I heard him open the door, and then he left and closed the door, and then I really fell asleep. So then I woke up, went downstairs to go get something to eat, and he was like, "You ready for that ass whooping?"
No, Pops never forget about the ass whipping, son. Yo, I had one coming to me, kid. Yo, the fucking lights went out in the house. I'm like, I'm saved. This cat went and found a fuse, fixed the fuse,
and then whooped your ass.
ready for the ass whipping, son. They ask you too, right?
So there's some ass whippings I wish I called the cops.
Right.
I'm like, you won't hit me again. You won't get locked up. But would anybody here be offended if their ex said, I'm a single mom?
I would.
I think I would.
Yeah, I would.
I think I would. I think I would. Even
Okay.
even though, like you said, if you're working a lot and you're not there 100% of the time, I think that you parent the best of your ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be kind of side-eyed.
Okay, so if a father. What about you, Drew? Would you be offended?
I would.
What about you, Goran? Would you be offended?
Yeah, because the single parent, I think, like you said earlier, carries a negative connotation to it, right? It says like there isn't
You're not
someone
involved.
there, someone else there. They're
Right.
not, and that's not the case. But listen, by definition, once you're divorced, both people become single parents.
That's exactly
right. Whether you like it or not.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's because my ex has said it. She said like, yeah, I'm a single parent, and when I heard that, I was like,
Whoa. Yeah.
I was like,
It don't rub you the right way.
Turn into a
True.
Pokemon.
I was like,
Wait,
true,
what?
true. But if she knows if she ever needs me for anything, I'm there, right? But I get it, right? I'm not there at her place all the time to parent all the time.
So would you?
And the kids take advantage of that too. I mean, they know that
Is it fair
that
to
she
say?
doesn't have the help with it. You know what I mean?
So is it better for them to say, "I feel like a single mom," or that's still offensive too?
I mean, that's like throwing shade, though.
That is.
What makes you feel like that? Well, and then they go into.
There you go. I gotta do all the homework. I gotta feed
Well,
them every night. I gotta
I
make
mean,
sure they go to bed.
the fact of the matter is, if you're in the
I
house,
feel like one.
if you're in the
I
house
have no help.
with the child,
okay.
you got to do everything for them, right? Like, so it to some degree, you are a single parent because when the child's there, you gotta, check the homework. You gotta, get them ready for bed. You gotta make their lunch. You gotta, do all of the things. It's not a shared. Experience while they're with you. But then you also get breaks though, right? So like with the way mine is set up, like we don't have like a formal schedule for our daughter. She is literally back and forth. It's almost every other night. She's back and forth, back and forth. So, it's like, one day you have off and then one day you got to do everything. So it's
Right.
it's I don't know. But it seems pretty equal.
Go ahead, Mo.
So I'm about to start some shit.
Uh-oh.
Demon time. Watch
So-
this guy.
Do you ever hear of men complaining about being single dads when they're with their kids?
No.
They don't use the terminology "single dad."
No.
but
So what do you say, Mo? That they complain, they just say it differently? I
Yeah,
never
they
heard a
complain
man
differently.
complain.
They complain differently. They say
Go ahead, start some shit.
They
Start some
just
shit,
like-
Drew.
That's a good question.
they
See it bubbling
because
up.
you know what happens is the parent that has the kid the most of the time, majority of the time during the school year, when the dad sees that report card, like, what the fuck she doing?
Yo, yes! Yo,
What the fuck is going on?
yo.
Oh my
Like,
God!
yo,
you struck a
like,
nerve with that one.
Dude,
Yeah, you
why
about to-
isn't my child in Regis? You fuck it up, baby. You fuck it up.
I ain't gonna lie, my daughter's smart as shit, so I don't gotta worry about that.
Yo. Missing assignments? Why she ain't doing her
So-
assignments?
Yeah.
And then you're like, damn, I gotta handle this shit myself. Everything. When it comes to taking your kid outside, you feel like a single parent because the mamas don't take them nowhere. They sit put them right in front of that TV or they take them to family house.
That's not what I asked you. But do men complain about it?
They complain, yes. They complain.
they don't I don't
I've
think-
complained to Daniil about how their mom don't take them nowhere.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
it.
point.
We just
I-
don't
I-
complain
yeah.
the same way. And it's like, it seems like people have a problem with the wording. You could say,
Yeah.
I feel like a single mom. Doesn't mean you're not doing your job.
Do you ever feel like dads are the fun, the
Absolutely.
the fun person, and then moms are always like the disciplinary? So it's like I'm not saying always, but you
Right,
know,
right.
when the co-parenting thing happens, well, Dad lets me stay up till 10 o'clock, and we play video games and we do all this other stuff, and and mom's like, well, look, you got to get ready for school. You got go take a bath. You got to do all these other
Oh
things.
hell no, not in my house. 8:30 in bed.
In bed.
I have yet to meet a mother that has had her own version of WrestleMania. Show me one mom that dropped a leg on their kid.
Right. Or built a Fort house. in the
name
basement.
one mom that allowed their kid to jump from the staircase like it was the top buckle and land on them.
D-Right, you was talking about the video game situation too for you. Right?
Yeah. Especially, I feel like a lot of our generation, or people I came in contact with, the women just grew up differently. So like Jamal's point, a lot of people I come in contact with, the fathers are really taking kids outside and throwing the ball around and, you know, getting the activity levels up. You know, a lot of kids, you know, put on some weight.
Mm-hmm.
And you might say, hey, maybe if I was there 100% of the time, that wouldn't be on my watch. But then it's tough. It's tough. It's tough, you know.
You feel like dads are more active?
Dads are different. I think we parent different.
Yeah, we parent different, definitely.
You know, I think a dad tells you how to get through stuff. A mom tells you how to be emotionally getting through stuff.
A mom washes with soap. A dad washes with bubble bath. Like, it's all soap. Just
Dawn.
Dawn. Like, damn, I'm out of soap. Go down the kitchen.
Go in the kitchen.
Get that dishwashing liquid. And dishwashing liquid makes excellent bubbles in the bath.
Dad will wash clothes with that too,
Yeah,
in the car.
Yeah.
He said, in the car.
Yo, I swear, like, I just washed my youngest, right? That come time to wash her. She's a girl. I do not like washing their lower regions. You got to get over it. I swear, I just put it over the water faucet. Just let the
Rinse it off.
Rinse it off. I just rinsed it off. But at no time, I just had all four of mine by myself. I didn't complain about being a single parent. I just made sure I was going to take care of me after it was over. So I got a hotel room, some alone time. Moms don't do that. Moms think they got to stay around, and they think they take a lot more on their shoulders than fathers do. So that mom will most likely always feel like a single mom because they want it done, and they want it done their way, so they won't ask for help.
Drew, you mentioned something a couple episodes ago. I don't know, something about, you know, no matter what, you know, with co-parenting, you know, the mothers
Yes.
always take on
Yes.
like 70%,
It's like,
70-30 or
it's like
60-40, but never
60-40.
50-50.
It's at best 60-40. It's never a 50-50.
Right.
Never.
So
never.
so speak on that. Let's talk about that.
All right, so for me, I can't comb hair for shit. So I ain't combing hair. My ex-wife does all their clothes shopping,
Okay.
but all the sports is me.
So let me ask you.
So it's like a team thing, though.
Do you make doctor's or dentist appointments?
Both.
You do that?
Yes.
Okay. So you go outside with them, you do doctor's and dentist appointments. Do you go to parent-teacher conferences?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you teach them how to save money and things like that?
Yes, I do.
Hell no, she ain't no single mom.
Nah. That's what I mean. I think the roles are different, though. I think it's a team. You know, I do certain things and you do certain things. I don't think we're single. Like, I'm single as far as relationship goes, but not parenting wise.
And I also think there are some parents that have a system set up where they're 52 weeks in a year. They each get 26 weeks. So if you're a parent that gets you are off 26 weeks, but you're on 26 weeks, you can't say you're a single mom.
Goran, you got older children. What's your dynamic like? I mean, you know, you got older children, so it's not. I mean, we, for the most part, we all got fairly younger children. So what's your dynamic like now? Not, you know, when they were smaller.
Yeah, no. So we did something similar to like what Jamal just said, right? We had a schedule that alternated. But, you know, my ex had the children the majority of the time. So even though it was, you know, equally divided with time, they lived with her. She had, you know, kind of like primary custody, right? So the times that they were with her, I did, you know, there was, unless I was checking in with her or calling, you know, there was no parenting on my part, right? Yeah. Did I go to the, you know, PTA meetings and the sports and all that stuff? Yes. But if she didn't call me, I wasn't parenting, right? I was working, or I was, you know, golfing or doing something else. She was the one parenting.
Right.
And then when, you know, when it switched, when they were over for the weekend, I was the one parenting. So that's how, you know, like I said, I could see how someone can say they feel like a single parent or they are a single parent. But for a parent who's actively involved in their children's, you know, lives, it's a little hurtful when you hear that, because you don't want them to feel like they're in this alone, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I think everyone is going to be subjected to that. Like I said, I had all four, and I felt like I had all three and one and a cousin. I had 4 kids with me by myself. I felt like a single parent. That's not knocking the women that I have children with. I just felt like it. That doesn't downgrade what you're doing. Like if your ex said, "Hey, I feel like a single mom." Like, what, bitch? What? What you say?
But you said
Child support don't say you gotta
Was
be a
that
single
for a
parent.
night? Was that a night? Or was that a week or a night
And
or
then it's-
2 days?
But even in that moment when you felt like a single parent, you weren't outwardly saying it to the masses. I'm a single dad. I'm a single dad. I'm a single dad. I'm a single dad.
Fair.
Right.
I'm a man. We talk less. It's true. Like, who do you vent to about the things you go through with your kids?
You start a podcast, man.
I'll throw a situation out there for you. I mean, in the early part of my marriage, my ex had a daughter, right? So her work schedule was intense. So for the most part, I was home, homework, PTA, activities. That fell on my shoulders for many years.
Did you feel like a single dad?
I'm thinking about it now. I never
You never
thought
thought
about
about
that
it then, right?
until just now. I'm like, wow. And I did feel like a single dad, but one, it wasn't my biological.
That's okay.
And
That doesn't matter.
And not that I'm throwing shade, but it's just like, she had to work, and I work close to the house. I picked her up from school, and teachers just knew me, and I'm doing double dutch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think so.
It never occurred to you that you
Nah.
were a single dad. You didn't think of it that way.
Right.
You was just doing your duty, right?
Right,
Like
right.
as a husband and a father.
Right. So, to Goran's point, it does feel a little hurtful, when you put time, effort into your kid or someone else's kid, and now you're single.
I would advise, if someone is hearing this from their ex, ask them why they feel that way.
Good question.
And it
Yeah,
might
good.
be legit. It was like, because I dealt with this by myself.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, single parents do that. They deal with shit by themselves
Right.
on that day. But it's not, just make sure. She's like, first, like, you got to ask them questions. Do you need help anywhere else? Give them a chance to say yes or no. Or are you just venting? Because if you're just venting, I get that. But if it's something,
I like that too. Yeah.
oh, shit. Dropping jewels.
Dropping jewels.
Gem alert.
Throw up the rock, baby. We throw up the rock every time we drop a jewel.
Do they feel like when they say that, are they saying it to say, listen, instead of saying I feel like a single parent, should they really be saying, hey, I need help. I need more help from you with something.
But let me ask you
Yeah,
guys a question though. So if your ex does come to you for help, is your response a positive response, the way they'll always come back, or is it like a negative response and now they're like apprehensive about asking you?
It all depends on what they're saying. Like currently, like most current situation, my second youngest, her mom wanted 3 days or 3 hours. I think she was 3 hours a week. And to me, I gave you a window of time, but she works out. I call her, she's a fitness elitist because she only wanted to do CrossFit. I was like, go to LA Fitness. That's open 24 hours. Go to there. I don't like Planet Fitness. I was just like, yo, you gotta work with what you get, and you can get those 3 hours, but it's just not in a place where you want it. So, as time progressed, I continuously thought of ways to get her time. So I think as a person who hears,
Oh, she wanted 3 hours to work out.
she wanted 3 hours just in general over the week.
Oh, okay.
You can get that if you think about it. Like, hey, go out, go. Her thing was, why I gotta leave the house to go get time? I'm like, go for a drive. Why I gotta leave the house? It's like, what the fuck do you want? So, her needs weren't being met. Bottom line. So, if you care about that person, you think about ways you can give it to them. Because moms are a special species of people. There is nothing that can go a certain way if it's not their way. So you got to work with them because they're going to complain more than fathers do.
So what I've learned is when someone comes to you with a problem and you're giving them solution after solution after solution after solution,
Options.
and none of them are good enough, they don't really want to be helped. They just want to hear themselves talk.
So that's when you ask. When they start
want to vent.
venting, you say, are you looking to be heard or are you looking for a solution? Give them the choice. If they are looking to be heard, shut up.
That's a good point.
Shut up. Just be like,
Let
What?
me throw out a scenario that we might dig into now, or it might create another future episode. But I was reading an article about this guy who, when he and his wife divorced, he had nowhere to go, so he couldn't move out. So they lived together for several years while he rebuilt himself. She rebuilt herself, but they were technically divorced. They were still co-parenting together. Nothing changed. The only thing that changed was marital status. In that situation, is that a single parent? If they're living together but technically divorced,
I think
nothing has changed. And if that's the case, would you, as a parent, would you want that kind of relationship to where, could you do that? Could you live with your ex for several years while you were divorced to parent the kids together until they were old enough to go out on their own?
No, man. I was dating someone like that already.
So
I could
So in
if
my
she-
mind, I was thinking that the I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
In my mind, I was thinking things shouldn't change. I mean, with the kid, with the child, because they're both there constantly. But I mean, I don't know. That just
Kids
seems
know, though.
really
Kids know
awkward,
something's
though.
up. What are you gonna say?
I think I think they can say they're a single parent because you tell people you're a single parent to people who are attracted to you, who want to get to know you. So if you tell them you're a single parent, immediately that person knows you're a package deal. Immediately. So you're going to say I'm a single parent. You're not going to say I'm divorced living with my husband and we're parents. My ex-husband, we're parents. You say I'm a single parent and then you go into it. So you give that person a chance to walk away because single parent immediately means package deal. So some people might not want to get with someone who has another child, who has a child. So
Also, that man and that woman can date no one. There's no one that they could date. Like, yeah, I'm divorced, but
Unless you're
still
on the
live with
apps.
my wife, and I mean, I still live with my ex-wife. And
Well, I
You
met
could date.
I met someone like that.
you could be a mistress.
So
the minute you honest,
so check
dating
this
is
out.
over.
So I was on one of the apps, and I met someone that said they were single.
no apps. Go ahead.
Is a app hater over there. But it turns out that they had a house. She lived upstairs with the kids. He lived downstairs. And as the weeks went on, I'm just realizing. So, I'll come through. Nah, you can't come through. I'll come see you. So she could date, but guys couldn't really come to the house.
Yeah, because he's sitting on the first floor.
Yeah,
like
so-
this. Yo, my man.
Well, it depends on your aspirations with that woman. If I'm just trying to fuck, that is a wonderful setup.
Right.
That is a wonderful setup. I don't need to come to your house. You just come to mine, or we go to telly. Cool.
So I mean,
Maintenance man, I will be.
To Key's point, there's people. Today, the new normal is different today, man.
It is. It's completely different.
People are doing things. So to Goran's point, there are people out there doing that right now, G. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. So, Goran, before we close out, what advice would you give to a person, since we talk about from a male perspective, you're a man, if a father heard his ex say, damn, I'm living life as a single parent, what would you advise him to do?
Ooh. So after this discussion that we had, my advice would be to ask your significant other, what help can I provide? What more could I do to help you not feel like you're such a single parent? Even though technically you are, but is there more I could be doing to help lessen the burden on you?
I like that.
I would suggest if you really want to find out if they feel like a single parent, go to that woman and say, give me full custody. And see what they say. And let me handle this for a while.
They'll
And you
never
take a
say
break.
yes.
They'll
woman-
most
a
likely
woman would never say yes.
they'll never say yes.
Over my dead body.
I think most women would rather give you possession of the children without it being officially said they're full time with their dad.
So they'll send them for a week.
No.
And
Meaning,
then not be like, for a month. And then be like, he don't have full custody
The
for a
kids
month.
can
He
live
just
with
got
you,
them.
but legally.
but legally,
yeah.
they're mine.
They're mine. I carried them for 9 months.
They're mine.
Yeah, pretty much. They're always the moms.
Because
Like the mom,
because
yeah.
because
Brothers need to start doing is videotaping when pregnancy happens. It's like,
Oh boy.
did you do this by yourself? Look at your face. You don't look like it.
it's unfair, but women are negatively stigmatized when they don't have custody of their children.
That's true.
Yeah, so I think
Oh, I
that's
thought
what
about
would
that.
That is true.
dictate that situation.
Wait,
I mean, it
Well,
depends.
I've never
It
seen
depends
your
on the
kids.
culture.
Oh, they see
Because
your
you guys, I know your mom came here before you came.
Right.
No,
So
but let me
culturally,
but let me ask you a question:
accepted.
if you met a woman tomorrow, right,
Uh-huh.
and she said, "Yeah, I have kids, I'm divorced, but the kids live with their dad," what would be your first thinking that popped up in your head?
I would say congratulations on releasing your power trip. And then I would
psycho, man.
I would want to find out the situation. If it's a boy, I'd be like, okay, I get it. She needs to live with his father because you don't know how to teach him how
You're
to be a man.
overthinking it. What would be your initial
My initial
thinking?
thought, I look at situations before I judge people.
And Boys in the Hood.
I don't treat
the mom
everybody
took,
like a
took the son
Right.
to go live with the father because he was
Furious?
yeah furious
Yes.
furious styles yeah.
hairstyle. You know, so it all depends on the situation. If it was like I gotta get myself back on my feet, that's also commendable. But I'm not gonna knock someone just because they don't have custody of their children. That's more fun time for us. If you think about it.
I think when guys first hear that, there is some judgment there, because to Drew's point, most moms, 90% want to have the kids with them. So you might think, well, what happened?
I like that you
course.
changed that. You changed it because Drew said most women, right? But you said most moms. So aha.
Aha!
No, but if you think about it, so if a court is gonna give full custody to the dad,
dad.
there has to be something wrong with the mom in
That's
order
what
to
I
do
was
that.
thinking.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. If the mom,
Something's
if,
wrong
if
with
the
this
mom,
woman.
if the
Right.
mom is a great mom, a good person, doesn't matter how good the father is, he's never getting custody.
In New York
Right.
State,
And then in some
Anywhere.
states,
That's real.
in some
That's
states,
real.
custody determines child support.
right.
So if the male gets full custody, he might not have to pay because he's providing all of the support. So there is no child support in a situation like that.
Right.
So that's it's crazy.
And from working in the court system just from many years ago, the judge's first instinct is to put that kid with his biological mom. That's
knowing nothing else.
nothing else. That's what they're looking to do.
So
Right.
many guys have gone to court like, Judge, she hit me. Did you file a police report? No. Next. If you didn't call the cops, it didn't happen.
Custody to the mother.
Unless the mom is something is off, like there's maybe a substance abuse or is just something that they can prove, more than likely that judge is ruling for the mom. So when you hear that the mom doesn't have custody, you just start to think,
Yeah.
it could be.
Or that kid decided, I want to go with daddy.
That's a good point too.
But even that is a red flag. It's like, well,
right.
that's okay.
You're like,
Right.
Because I don't think all of my kids are team mommy. And I'm the one that take them outside. We'd rather stay inside our house forever and go with you.
So
right,
on
go
that
ahead.
note, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for listening to The Lame Show. Check out our past episodes on your favorite podcast platform. Click that download button, hit subscribe, and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Also, check us out on all our social media platforms. We are on all of them. And if you want to buy us a drink and support the show, head over to buymeacoffee.com/The Lame Show. We're now accepting sponsorship for as little as $5 a drink and $10 a month. All right. That's all we got for today, guys.
All
All
right.
right, great.
Got some gems.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We threw up a rock. We threw up the rock a few times.
It ain't a party, but it's a good time.
There you go.
Later.
See you next time.
See you next time.